going on, everybody? It's me again. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing all right. I'm excited this morning. But I want to talk about transparency versus shame. I was thinking about that this morning in meditation, and I think that being transparent is one of the most liberating things that I've ever done. And I learned it from my aunt when I was in my first beginning years of college. We would sit down and have talks, she and I would talk about life. She would talk about her life, and she would tell me things that I would think that would be, shameful for other people. Because several times I'd just be like, thinking to myself, did she really just tell me that? But what she was doing was she was empowering me to be transparent as well. And her husband was the same way. They were just so open about their experiences in their past, and they had no reaction to it whatsoever. They would just say stuff, oh yeah, I did that, yeah, didn't do it anymore after that, but it was over. What? But because of that, when I looked into things that I'd done in the past that were unsavory, I would make sure that I reached for that level of no effect as well. Like to talk about it and y'all should listen, my therapists, God bless them, because I let it all out, child. I don't hold nothing back. I don't have nothing. But it is so freeing to do that, because once you understand the power of transparency, then you use it a little bit more. And the power of transparency is this: that whatever you've done does not control the value of you. It does not define your value to yourself. I wrote something last night on my Facebook post that goes with this topic. Once I stopped seeing myself the way everyone else saw me, I was introduced to my whole self. The irony is this: I had to become sick from what was killing me in order to be separated long enough to see who I truly am. God is in everything, especially pain. Don't run from it, run into it. Shame is a result of me looking at what I've done through the eyes of other people. Right? I think most of all, God will judge your intention, because God can see and is aware of your intention, but people will judge the impact that you've had on them. Right? It's not who you are. It's not what you've done. It's how you made them feel. That's what they're going to judge. And I think it's natural. I do it. Right? And if I have a judgment that I don't like in my head, or I've come to a conclusion in my head, I want to talk about it to make sure that if I'm right, then I know that. That's knowledge now. I understand who you are. But if I'm wrong, please tell me. And vice versa. I am never ashamed or afraid to confront God with things that I've done that make my own self uncomfortable. Right? Because I'm not afraid of what God is going to say in response. That to me is the most powerful connection or realization that you can have with God. Because if you live in a way that creates that type of consciousness or awareness that you want to do the right thing, the most that you can do is the best that you can do, right? And then if something happens outside of your control that you don't know about, or even if you do know about it, nobody's opinion matters but God's. Because God knows the intent. Shame is something that is created by a label, I think. And when we reverence shame more than we do the truth, when we reverence how we appear to other people more than how we feel and who we are, then we are misaligned with God, with our divinity, with the God inside of us, and with the God that connects with us and is supposed to connect with us. See, people use things to make you feel ashamed so that they can control you. That's one of the things that I've seen in churches so much. right? Everything that we experience, everything that, all the mistakes that we make are not things to run away from, but we're supposed to lean into them. The one thing that I found most accomplished by God when he created humanity or mankind, right, is this, that no matter how dark of a room or a space you're in, if you give it time, your eyes will adjust so that you can see. Yes, lights go out sometimes. Yes, things happen to us that we're not very proud of. But in dark places, you can still see your way out. Because your eyes, your vision, your perception, your consciousness, your awareness, it must adjust. Because that's how God made the human body. So it's like he's already given you permission to be great, right? He's already given you permission beyond what those folks are thinking or perceiving you as, or whatever it is that you've done. God has already given you permission to walk out of it because your eyes can adjust in the dark. Oh, when God told me that, y'all, he told me that one time in meditation. I said, listen, Jesus. He's my friend. Yes, he is. But there are certain things that I've done. Even my editor, she was like, Michelle, you shouldn't write that in your book. And I'm like, why? It's me. It's my life. It's my process. It's my journey, right? All that stuff happened for a reason, right? And a lot of people take me, when I talk about my stories or I talk about my life, they think it's judgment, but it's not. It's observation. It's communication of how Michelle felt in that situation. And if you don't want to talk to me about it, I'm not held responsible for how you feel if I don't know it. Anyway. But transparency is freeing. Transparency is telling your unsavory moments that you are not who I am, but you are the content that I had to go through in order to get where I was. For example, I had an ex-girlfriend, and in that relationship, I got arrested. So I spent a few hours in jail and had some legal issues because of it. And I didn't call my mom, didn't call my dad, because I was like, listen, homie, you got yourself in this, homie, you gonna get yourself out, right? And didn't ask nobody for nothing. But what it did is it showed me her. It showed me who she was. If that had never happened, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. It took me being in a courtroom, watching her. She was reading a book, y'all, while I was standing in front of the judge. I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm out. I'm gonna holler at you then. See you later. And it was an unreasonable situation. Let's see, I was addicted to Percocets for about 6 months when I had a surgery on my knee. And I was also in another bad relationship. That one was very terrible. It was, it was terrible. No. That's for another time. That's for another book. Let's see what else. So here's a real funny story. It's actually in my book, but I didn't go into a lot of detail. But here's all the detail, girl. Here's all the juice, the tea, honey. So my first night at a gay club, I went to the Dragon Room, right? The most phenomenal time of my life. I'll never forget that night. But it was full of women. Woo! But anyway, that's in my book. The God, a lesbian in the space in between. There you go. You can see it. All right. But at the end of the party, y'all, I'm 21. I've never been drinking before. But that night, it was my birthday. I was lit. Hear me? I was done. But I was surrounded by friends, so I was okay. But when the club let out, we went outside, and these two women, they were gorgeous. I was like, wait, why are you talking to me? What? You're really pretty. Why are you talking to me? So they were talking to me, they were laughing. He was like, why don't you come with us to IHOP? And then we can go back to our place. I'm like, y'all, if y'all could have seen this little church girl going into a lesbian club and somebody saying something like that, is just out of this world. That's like some movie type stuff. So I was like, oh my God, And I told my friends, and I was like, they want me to go to IHOP and then to their house. I'm going to see you tomorrow. But she said, fool, get over here. She said, those are hookers, Michelle. I was like, oh, that's why they're so nice. I was like, nobody's this nice. Learned that lesson too. Let's see. I probably smoked so much weed in my entire life that if I stood outside in the cold and you were around me and you saw the heat coming off my head, you'd probably get a contact high. All of these things that people are afraid to be transparent about are nothing to fear. But God never left me in any of those moments. And in those moments, I think God was with me the most. So it's all a myth. All of this shame is not real. It's man-made. That's my opinion. But anyway, y'all don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to talk about who you are with folks that are close to you and important to you. That's all I got. I love y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. All right.